Hey YouTube friends, last week I was drafting a bit of a planty year in review video for you guys, and then this video from Wild Fern popped up on my YouTube feed. Wild Fern is one of my very favorite planty YouTubers, and she made a year in review video with 10 different questions for us to answer and challenge the plant community to tag her and answer those 10 questions. And if we haven't met before, hey, I'm Mel. I'm that self-confessed crazy plant lady who just cannot stop talking about plants, and this channel is all about bringing you along on my planty journey, mistakes and all, and hopefully giving you bucket loads of tips and tricks along the way so that you can grow your planty collection as well. I've been on the lookout for a Christmas mug. A new op shop has opened in my area, and I have to tell you guys, I have got so much stuff for $35. I actually needed help going out the door. I finally found a Christmas mug for $2. I was so excited. So over the next few videos, you won't see my Halloween ghost. You'll actually see a proper Christmas mug in my Christmas videos instead of my Halloween ghost mugs. I know, small things, right? Tea is just so much a part of my life. It was super exciting just to find a simple little Christmas mug for $2. But enough about my new mug. I'm busting to answer these questions for you. Okay, question 1. What plants have you crossed off your wish list this year? I actually found this one pretty challenging. And when I look over on my dining table, I've got 5 different plants lined up, and they're not even all of the wish list plants that I got this year. I've been very well behaved actually for a plant parent this year, and I've been really conscious about the plants that I bring into our home, and if I am bringing plants in, making sure I get rid of plants. So I've ended up with quite a few of my wish list plants. So if you've been on this channel for a little while, you might be very surprised that I'm not going to show you any begonias in this wish list list, that's a mouthful. I just adore the genus of begonia all the way for me. But I thought I'd choose my wish list plants from this year that I feel like I don't show enough on this channel. So this beautiful fern leaf cactus was the very first wish list plant that I got in 2025. I really don't talk about this particular plant enough on this channel. Look at the size of it. They really do look so much like a fern, but they have more succulent-y leaves because they're a jungle cactus. So my husband bought it for me for our anniversary in May. Probably the plant that started my whole philosophy for the year, because until May, I was like, no plants in 2025. I have way too many plants. And my husband took me to a number of plant shops on the other side of town that I don't normally get to see. And we walked in, and this beautiful plant was hanging up above the coffee shop. And I just kept walking past it. And he said, for goodness sake, I'm going to buy that for you because you can't stop looking at it. And I guess that's when I realized I just need to be mindful about the plants that I bring into my collection, because this guy, I smile at it every day. It's up on our entry wall. I walk past it every day. It has been really easy to work out its care needs. Up on our entry wall, I have grow lights. Initially, I had it quite close to one of the grow lights because a lot of my other jungle cactus, my Ripsalis jungle cactus, do prefer that brighter light. Very quickly, it started getting browning on the end of the leaves. So I realized it needed a bit more subtle light, and I just moved it a little bit back from the grow lights, and it has just been going bananas ever since. It has so much new growth. I've got it in a self-watering, one of my DIY self-watering setups in my chunky mix. Wow, I really need to be talking about this plant more often because I just adore this plant so much. I'm so grateful to my husband for buying this for me for our anniversary. It is just beautiful. The next plant I have for you, I only got in the December Plant Club plant swap. Can you guys recognize that? It is a rope Hoya, so a Hoya compactus. It is the non-variegated kind. I bought 2 variegated Hoya compactus 2 or 3 years ago. I'm still absolutely no expert, but when I knew even less about plants, and I killed them pretty quickly. Talking to and watching lots of other plant experts, they can be a little bit painful to grow, these guys. But I've heard over and over again with some research that the non-variegated kind are a bit kinder, I guess, a bit easier. And then one of the plant ladies bought this to Plant Club. I couldn't believe it. And she knows that I love Hoya. So I only got this about 2 weeks ago, and I am just absolutely delighted to be able to give it another go. Now I've got a little bit more knowledge about plants. So I've got it in my DIY self-watering setup. Actually, you guys are probably wondering why there is rocks at the back here. I've got it up on one of my antique ladders, and you can imagine the ladder slopes down. So if I don't have the 2 rocks in the back, the pot is actually so small and light, it tips over. So that's just a little DIY trick that I do to stop my pots falling over. I've just got it in my perlite stratum mix. And touch wood, so far it's going well, but as I said, I've only had it for 2 weeks. I was so excited when I saw her bring the big tray in. She bought this massive tray of propagations. It caught my eye straight away, and I said, no way, is that a rope Hoya? Is that a Hoya compactor? And she's like, yep, absolutely. I thought you'd like that one. So a very new wishlist addition to my plant collection. So excited. Question number 2, what is a genus that you plan to get into more in the new year? So I don't think any of you would be shocked if I answered that with begonia, of course. But I have to say, when I say begonias, I think more cane begonias, because I've got quite a number of Rex begonias now, and I really am running out of space in the ensuite. I don't have any humidity cabinets here at home. I don't have a greenhouse or a growing tent, and I don't have one single space left in the ensuite for Rex begonias. So cane begonias it is, because they're so much more forgiving when it comes to humidity. They can grow in ambient here in Brisbane. I've got a number of Rex begonia, but I don't have that many cane begonia. So definitely begonia. And I think the other one is syngonium for me, because I adore syngoniums. If I was doing this video last year, it would have been syngoniums all the way. But I've learned this year, I've had a few pest issues with syngoniums, and a number of the ones that I do have are sort of more established these days. And you know, you guys, what I'm like with structure of a plant. Some of the structures I'm not 100% with. So although I adore syngoniums, I've discovered that I don't adore all syngoniums. Maybe taking some of the syngoniums that I've got that I'm not enjoying the structure so much, or that are causing me pest issues, for someone else at Plant Club to try. And there's a number of syngoniums that I have my eye on for 2026 that I might give a go. So very long answer to syngoniums and begonia for 2026. Question number 3 is, what is your plant care routine? I was struggling to know how to answer this one, because I used to have a routine, and that was, I guess, when I knew less about my plants. But as I get to know my plants more, and having more of my plants in my hydro and my semi-hydro self-watering setups, I have more visual reminders now of when my plants need to be watered. I guess I can be a little bit more relaxed. 12 months or so ago, before I tried self-watering, I had plant watering days where I take all of my plants outside, because I'm a big believer, as you know, in hosing off plants. I just find it makes such a big difference actually to pest control. Hosing down all of your plants, either hose in the garden, which I do, I just take mine outside, or in the shower. So I still do that, but I don't do it as regularly, because I've got all my self-watering pots. So I probably only hose my plants down every 4 to 6 weeks now, which has actually, not surprisingly, increased the amount of pests that I'm getting. So I'm sort of trying to balance that out now. But every day, I guess when I wake up, I make a cup of tea, of course, chai. I divide the house into 3 or 4 sections, a number of sections, and I just sort of go around taking note of my plants, what needs to be watered or what might need a leaf chop. I try and repot things in groups, because you know, repotting is messy and you have to get all of your plant care stuff out to be able to do that. So I try and never just repot one plant at a time. I try and have at least 2 or 3 at a minimum. Any of my plant chores, apart from of a morning, if I'm just going around watering and trimming off yellow leaves, any other planty things that I need to do, I'll use it as a brain break throughout the day. So just say I've had to do some emails, or I'm doing, you know, some financial stuff, had to make a few phone calls, I'll then have a break and go and do something planty before I go back and do something else. So I guess I use it as a real relaxation, mindfulness, just keep it really flexible. And yep, I do miss plants, that does happen. But in general, my plants are going pretty well, and I feel much calmer using my plant care routine as a bit of that downtime and mindfulness. Question number 4, a plant success story from 2025. Ninja is trying to go outside. No, it's late now, buddy. You're inside now. No. Ninja just bumped the stand. He's bumping it again. Ninja, stop bumping the stand. Ninja is trying anything to get outside. He's going to have a look at the louvers now to see if he can get out. What time is it? It's about 7:30 at night, so it is well and truly time for him to be inside. But he thinks I'm the worst cat owner ever. So my plant success story for 2025 is not one particular plant. I think for me, the biggest success I feel like I've had around plants for 2025 was starting our local community plant club. And for someone with autism and ADHD, that was a pretty big deal for me. Social stuff is not my strength. I am so very awkward, guys. Behind the camera, I can edit away all I need, but when you're talking to a group of people, and particularly when it's a plant club that you've organized, there's no editing. And so it took a bit, I have to say, to start it. I started it in May. It has just been the best thing. I have made so many new friends. We swap plants, we talk about plants, but we talk about other things as well. The group is actually on Facebook, and when I had a look just before this, I think there's 75 members now, which is just amazing. Like any club, there's probably a group of about 10 or 12 people that come every month, and then other people sort of come and go as they can. It's really flexible like that. We're not expected to bring plants every single time. In our December plant club that we had about 2 weeks ago, we ran around the circle and talked about our favorite plants for 2025, and I was just delighted because there's such a mix of people that come along to plant club. When we started in May, some people came along that didn't own one single plant. They class themselves as complete plant serial killers, just how I felt a few years ago, and that's exactly who I designed the club for. I was hoping we'd get a really good mix of plant tragics like myself that have way too many plants, still learning though, as well as really experienced plant people, and also people that just feel like they want more plants in their home and don't know what to do. And it was just so lovely to hear people go around the circle and talk about their experiences since May. And one of the ladies actually brought her very first propagation ever to the December Plant Club swap. She was one of the beautiful ladies that didn't have a single plant in her home when she started. So I guess it's just brought me so much joy. Every month there are just so many beautiful plants that get brought along. If I've got a plant that's not working for me, or if I've got excess propagations because I have a propagation problem, I get to share those with the group. I feel like I've really landed on my feet with Plant Club, and it's just been such a nice community thing. I almost forgot to tell you guys this before I went on to the next question. My other success that is plant related in 2025 is I just have been a bit more brave with being a plant parent, a bit more willing to experiment and try things, and I guess being less self-critical. So when something goes wrong with the plant, instead of going, oh my goodness, you're the worst plant parent ever, you don't know what you're doing, I'm sort of taking it a little bit more like a learning and being willing to move plants around and try them in other substrates. I guess I've learnt so much as a plant parent this year because of it. And if it's not working, okay, so what do I need to change? Is it the light? Is it the water? Is it the substrate? Is it just not working in our house? And in doing that, I've ended up with 2 different genus of plants that I just would never have had in my collection if I hadn't changed my philosophy this year. So the first one is Aglaonema. I have 2 Aglaonemas now. I definitely will be getting more in 2026. So this is my beautiful one that I showed you guys in the Christmas video because I just think they're great Christmas colors. I got given a clipping from a friend. It had 1 or 2 leaves on it. This was 2 or 3 years ago. It never did anything. It stayed dormant, and I just thought Aglaonemas are meant to be the easiest plants to look after. Everyone tells me how easy it is, and I can't even get a single cutting to grow. So my white syngonium that I bought first, it grew and it's doing well. And so that gave me the confidence to buy this one that's also growing and doing well. And I'm just so grateful because they're just such beautiful, beautiful plants. And if I hadn't given it another go, if I'd just given up with that one cutting that just stayed stagnant, did nothing, ended up just getting thrown in the compost bin because it ended up just root rotting out after about 18 months. I don't know why I persevered. Maybe not all Aglaonemas are going to be this easy for me as this one and my other one currently is, but you know what? I can introduce a genus into my collection. So super excited about these. And then the other one, if 2024, what are we now? 2025. If 2024 Melissa was talking to you, I would be in complete shock right now. I currently have 4 relatively happy and healthy alocasias in my collection. This one is my latest. It's a Regal Shield. Oh, OMG guys, OMG. I'm in love with this plant. I have this one, so the Regal Shield. I have a Stingray, I have a Black Velvet, and I have an Amazonica. So what happened was the Stingray, I should have bought the Stingray in actually because it was my OG alocasia. So the Stingray that I have outside, it's grown so big, it was a little bit big to bring inside. So I rescued that. It was actually on the community plant library table, and there was 1 leaf left. It was out in the sun. Someone had left it out in the sun. It was so shriveled. I didn't even know what sort of plant it was. So I guess it didn't feel like a big deal because I was just rescuing a plant. I just didn't know what I was rescuing. And then because of that, I bought my Amazonica. We don't get on so well. The original Amazonica, if you remember, it got knocked over and my chunky mix scattered on the ground, and it had a number of corms in it, and those corms have now all sprouted. So I have a whole new plant that has about 4 leaves on it just from these corms. So it's actually going relatively well as well. And then at Plantabulooza, a Brisbane plant market, I bought a Black Velvet and it's going okay as well. And then this I got recently out of a friend's garden, and it's grown this leaf since. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And it's growing another leaf. Yeah, 2024 Melissa would not believe that I was actually saying I've got 4 alocasias They're actually going okay. I managed to propagate it. I didn't even know I was doing it. The corms fell on the floor. I put it in back in my chunky mix, and it was just in the right conditions in the propagation room, and babies started sprouting. But even still, I sprouted some baby alocasias. I have found the best location for my alocasias is not in the ensuite with my begonias, but actually out in our back area under our clear perspex. There's 2 shelves on one of my antique ladders. They all just go absolutely crazy. So touch wood and cross fingers, but that definitely has been a massive success in 2025 to be able to bring 2 different genuses, the aglaonema, back into my collection and give it another go, and then introducing alocasia into my collection. I would never have thought that I would have been able to do that. Question number 5, a plant failure in 2025. This one is much easier for me to answer because I have so many plant failures come to mind. But thinking about which of the many failures that I've had this year to tell you guys about, I think the one that I have really, really mixed emotions about, and I still have mixed emotions about, is my pink princess philodendron. Many videos ago, I showed you guys my pink princess philodendron. I'll make sure I put some photos up here. And I don't know if you've watched many things or read many things about pink princesses. When you're first buying a pink princess, it's important to get one that has good genetics. And my pink princess, I didn't know that when I got it. I just fell in love with the colored leaves, and it used to pop out half moons all the time, and sometimes even full pink leaves, which are not good. Very little chlorophyll, but it was just beautiful. But it got so big, I ran out of space for it. It got to about my waist height, and I was like, this is too big, and I wasn't enjoying the plant. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll cut it up, and I'll keep a much smaller bit for myself, and I'll share the rest with Plant Club. So I cut it up. I cut it into 3 or 4 pieces. I kept the top cut because it had some leaves unfurling, and I thought, well, I'll keep those and I'll give the more established bottom pieces to my friends at Plant Club. The top piece just was getting smaller and smaller. It was root rotting on me. The leaves were dying. It just wasn't happy. And I finally threw the last root rotted bit, the last node that I had. I just had to keep chopping. I had to throw it out 2 or 3 weeks ago. I finally put it in the compost, and I have such mixed feelings about it because it was such a beautiful plant. Look, the good news is my sister took one of the pieces because she loves the plant, and it's going really well in her home. And this is the bit that I guess I have mixed feelings about. So I can easily get a propagation from her, but if I do get it, where am I going to put it eventually? So I don't know. I'm torn between, I really want my pink princess back because the leaves are just stunning, but space-wise, if I take it back, it's going to mean that I'll probably have to get rid of one of my other plants. So I'm super torn, guys. But that was a definite fail. It was such a massive, beautiful pink philodendron. Growing up a trellis, I don't do moss poles. So healthy. I chopped it up and it went completely pear-shaped, and I just feel really guilty. And now I don't know if I actually want it back. Okay, question number 6. Houseplant trend predictions for 2026. I watch a lot of planty YouTube. I don't think a day will go by where I'm not watching planty YouTube. I live in my headphones. Whatever I'm doing, I have YouTube playing in the background, and it's often a planty video. I guess the things that I'm hearing more and more this year are more people seem to be downsizing their collection, moving away from moss poles for all the reasons that I just find moss poles really challenging. I feel like they're hard work keeping up the watering. They can take up a bit of space. They're not necessarily aesthetic. People feel like they're moving more towards easy care plants, more staple plants. I was trying to summarize that this afternoon when I was walking the dogs. I thought, how can I put all of that together? And I guess I came up with, it feels like the plant community in 2026 might do a big exhale, just simplifying our collections, embracing those big box store finds, so not necessarily having to chase the rare plants and the expensive plants and the hard to care for plants. And also thrifting feels like a really big thing that's going to keep expanding next year as well, looking for those unique containers, those unique planty containers as well. I really enjoyed watching the plant community answer this question. It's such a mixed bag between winter and summer. And for me, the answer is very, very easy, and that is summer. And that is right where we are right now. For me here in Brisbane, remembering that our winters are very mild in comparison to so many other parts of the world, it just means less pests, less water because there's less light, so the plants aren't absorbing as much. It just feels like a calmness all around, I guess, in my plant collection. Whereas in summer, it's very rare for any of my plants not to at least be watered once a week. In summer, it really does get just so hot here. The pests, oh my goodness, the pests in summer, I just have to be on the ball all the time when it comes to pests in summer. I've got a lot of plants on both of our patios, our front and back patios. So for me, the caterpillars and grasshoppers, wow. And also much more likely to be attacked by mealybugs as well in summer. So for me, I just feel like I'm a little bit more on high alert with my plants in summer. I was talking about my plant care routine earlier in the video. To keep my plants happy, definitely my choice, but it feels like I need to be doing something every day. I can't go a few days without doing something in summer, whereas in winter, I can go for a few days without having to water or check any of my plants, knowing that it's just so much less likely for there to be a pest, and also they're just not using the water as quickly. So for me, definitely summer is a much more challenging time of the year as a plant parent than winter is here in Brizzy for sure. What plant pest do you struggle with or fear the most? So for me, definitely summer is all about caterpillars and grasshoppers. It is a constant challenge every year for me. I have some plants out on our back patio at the moment, and I can see the grasshoppers, and it doesn't matter how much I hose them and I use some of my natural pest deterrents, I just can never seem to get on top of it. The caterpillars, I have to say, I'm doing a lot better with, because in winter, I'm not sure if you saw any of my winter videos, I strategically, as best I could, moved a lot of my plants around and moved plants inside that the caterpillars historically have attacked. I'm happy to say has actually really decreased the amount of caterpillars on our front and our back patios, which has been fantastic. This is the first summer in a very long time that I'm pretty much only battling grasshoppers, not caterpillars. So that feels like a bit of a win. Mealybugs, definitely, I feel like I'm getting more used to mealybugs and spotting them early, which is a really big tip. But I have to say, terrified of thrips. I hear all these terrible things about thrips, and touch wood, I haven't had to deal with them yet. And I feel nervous even saying that, because they look so nasty and they sound so nasty and so hard to get rid of. I feel like now that I've said that, 2026 might be my year to find out all about thrips. I'm so lucky and I'm so happy with my current collection. I don't see myself getting a lot of new plants in 2026, says the person that goes to Plant Club every month and seems to bring plants home every month. But in general, I'm not proactively going out and looking for additional plants. I do have a small wish list, which I thought I might do a whole other video on. One of the plants that's been on my wish list for a long time is a moonshine, something to do with moon. I think it's moonshine snake plant. You guys know how much I love snake plants. I have them in every room. I pretty much can look around and spot one for you. So I love moonshine snake plants, and I have actually found them in a number of nurseries locally, but I haven't bought myself one this year because they can take up so much space, and I really am getting short of space with my collection. Ninja is moving the tripod again. Ninja, completely lost my train of thought then. Once again, I would have to move some of my plants around, get rid of one of my plants. I think I'll definitely get a moonshine snake plant in the future, but I don't feel like I need to rush out right now and get one. And then the other one that only just got added the other week, I was doing a Christmas video that I'll post for you guys next week around my very favorite nursery. A syngonium popped up that I hadn't, I'd only seen in videos and photos before, and in real life, wow, it was a syngonium. I'm just trying to think of the name. It started with the W. I'll make sure I put it up here for you guys. It had a really dark velvety leaf and a white stripe down the middle. You guys might have seen it before. And yeah, as I said, I hadn't seen one in real life before. It absolutely took my eye. So definitely going on my wish list for 2026, that's for sure. But same, I don't need to go out and buy it straight away, because I think I need to do a bit of a syngonium purge before I bring any more syngoniums into my collection. Okay, I think this one, question number 10, is definitely the hardest question to answer. And that is my favorite plant of 2025. Now, as I speak to you, I just have so many favorites, because most of the plants I keep around me make me smile. And so choosing just one feels really, really hard. Don't worry guys, I have chosen. Actually, I narrowed it down to two. I couldn't get it down to one, but I did narrow it down to two. I had to get quite dramatic when I was thinking about what are my absolute favorite plants, because as I said, I just love all of my plants, or most of my plants, so very much. And so I got a bit dramatic, and I thought, if I were to lose my plant collection for some reason, what plants would I really, really, just like that pink princess that is on my mind, what plants would I feel that about? And that's how I came up with my two. So that feels very dramatic, but that's the way that I could answer the question. So my first one was definitely my fiddle leaf fig. Oh, I just adore this plant. I go outside and I look at it, every single day. I'm definitely checking it for grasshoppers. There is one particular massive brown grasshopper. We have arguments all the time because it is so big. When it jumps onto the fiddle leaf, it makes the whole plant move up and down, and that's how I can tell it's on there. And then I go and find it, I go and take it out to the garden. We have these conversations regularly. I can't bring myself to kill it. It's a massive, big old grasshopper. Luckily, it's not a whole heap of the little ones. But we've been through such a journey, that fiddle leaf and I. It's probably taken me about 4 different locations in our house to get it right. It is one of my very original plants. I would never recommend a fiddle leaf to a new beginner. I really shouldn't have chosen one of those first, but I've always had a soft spot for fiddle leaves. It is now well and truly over my head. I'll put some photos up here of it, you guys, but I just love it. I think because we went on such a journey and it took me such a long time to get it right. And now I have so many little fiddle leaf fig propagations all around the house, and I'm able to share them with my friends. I think fiddle leaf figs are a favorite for many people. I've really enjoyed being able to share. I've actually got one propagation that I'm about to take to Plant Club in January. It's about waist height. I just propagate them in water and then transition them into my chunky mix. It's ready to go, so I'm really excited to share that. So fiddle leaf is number 1. And then the next one that I've got for you guys is much smaller, but still has grown heaps in 2025. And that's my philodendron micans. We have not been on a journey. This plant from day one has just been nothing but easy. So complete opposite to the fiddle leaf. I've just loved it from the moment that my friend introduced me to it. It was just a plant I guess I'd never paid attention to in the nursery before. Actually, thinking about it, in a lot of our local nurseries, they're not there all the time. But now I'm so in love with this plant, I know to watch out for it. I wish the camera would do it justice. Just the feel of these leaves, the colors on the back, and just the ease of growing. There's nothing I don't like about this plant. It has grown so much, you guys. For anyone who's interested, down the bottom, you notice it's a lot leggier and the leaves are smaller. So it's growing down away from the grow light. And I don't mind that. You can see up the top, it's a lot bushier. The leaves are a lot bigger. If I wanted these to be, I guess, a lot less leggy, I could grow it up a trellis towards the light, but I don't mind it trailing down. It trails down one of my antique ladders down past the books. Yeah, I just absolutely in love with the philodendron micans. And my friend did a big plant clean out the other day. The friend that introduced me to the micans, and in amongst all the propagations was some more micans propagations. So I'll be able to actually fill this pot up even more. Definitely up there in my top 10 favorites, well, my top 2 favorites for 2025. I can't imagine a plant collection without one of these in it. So that is all 10 questions in Wild Fern's list of Plant a Year in Review questions, I guess 10 questions for 2025. I really enjoyed filming that for you. I thought Fern chose some really thoughtful questions to be able to answer. I really enjoyed doing this as part of the plant community. I hope you enjoyed listening to my answers as well. And if you've made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for spending time with me. I just love making these videos for you guys. And I hope that you're enjoying the holiday season, whatever you choose to do. I've got one more Christmassy video to upload for you guys next week, and that's going around my favorite nursery. They just do beautiful Christmas displays and have lots of Christmas gift ideas. So I thought that would be a really nice video to post for you guys in the week of Christmas. And as usual, small channel, I read and respond to all of your comments. They make me smile so much. Just a simple planty or Christmas emoji makes the most massive difference to this small channel. If you've got any video ideas that you'd like me to talk about, whack them down in the comments below. And until my next video, guys, take care and remember, you've totally got this.